Hey guys, welcome back. That's Sam.
That's Phil.
And we're Bars of Barbells, and we're doing the Rascals for the first time on the channel today.
People got to be free.
Do they?
Yeah,
Should they be free?
they should.
Well, I think the Rascals might agree with you from what we were reading about this. And how are we arriving at this one, first and foremost, Sam?
This was a request from Mark.
Mark, the ultimate sponsor of the Bars and Barbells channel.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Well, actually one of many sponsors on the channel, but we are grateful for Mark's support. He's been around for a long time.
Yes.
You guys have probably heard that name mentioned a few times if you've been hanging out with us. And thank you to everybody that comes by, even if you haven't sponsored a video, but you keep coming through and checking out these videos with us. It allows us to do what we want to do.
We
And that's
appreciate you guys.
checking out cool content like this, right?
So much cool content. Well, I mean, we can't speak to this yet because we haven't heard it.
That's valid. But the reason
I mean,
why,
usually, Mark, though, you have a pretty good track record.
well,
So.
also not just Mark, let's, give him credit, but we also got to give the 60s some credit, I think.
Yes, lots of bangers in the 60s for sure.
And
This is from 68, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's summer of 1968.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
right there.
Sometimes the answer is right in front of you. And so we did a little bit of background on the Rascals, and this actually was their last #1 hit in the U.S. This did really well in the charts, actually.
Yeah, I went to #1 for 5 weeks, which is cool.
Yeah, I went to #1 on the U.S. Billboard 100, and I went to #1 on a few other charts. It did well in Australia, in Canada. So
And also, they was saying that it became an anthem for the civil rights movement as well later on, which is cool.
yeah, and so I think what we were reading is that this had some of that flower power. I think Mark actually said that it had some of that flower power vibe, and the Rascals were known for their uplifting sound. So
Even the name of this, and alongside a couple of their other songs that we were reading, were bigger hits. They have very hippie, kind of like a hippie vibe to them.
yeah, so we've really enjoyed the 60s that we've got into thus far,
Yeah.
and this sounds like it's going to be right around that similar ballpark. So if you've got other recommendations for the Rascals, you know what to do at this point. You drop it down low in the comments section. If you like the video, you
Thumbs up.
hit that thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, you got to do so already. Hit that subscribe button down below, and that'll let you know whenever we drop any kind of videos, especially if you're a fan of the 60s. So you ready, Sam? We're going to check out People Got to Be Free.
I'm ready.
Is that a question? Is it people got to be free, or is people got to be free?
I think it's more of like a statement.
I think we're about to find out. Let's go.
All the world over so easy to see. People everywhere just wanna be free. Listen, please, listen, that's the way it should be. Peace in the valley, people got to be free.
Okay. Look at that shirt.
You should see what a lovely, lovely world is to be.
Okay.
Everyone learn to live together.
I'm feeling some soul.
Seems to me such an easy thing should be.
Okay.
Why can't you and me learn to love one another? Now all the world over so easy to see.
Okay.
People everywhere just wanna be free.
Yep.
I can't understand, it's so simple to me. It is. People everywhere just got to be free. If there's a man who is down and needs a helping hand,
Tell him.
all it takes is you to understand and to pull him through. Seems to me we got to solve it individually. And I'll do to you what you do to me. Said no. Shouting from the mountains all out to the sea. Out to the sea. No two ways about it. People have to be. They got to be.
Looks like a party. Looks like a party on the stage there.
Yeah, I definitely love his soulful vocal in this. I feel he brings like a lot of emotion and passion through his vocal delivery.
That's what I was saying when we were listening to it, as I was feeling a lot of soul coming through
Yeah.
in the vocal, like you were saying, obviously in the music as well, impassioned by the messaging in the song. Really on par with everything we were talking about in the beginning of the video.
Yep.
And delivering a message, ensuring that, it's got a meaning behind the song, which I appreciate because it sounds great, makes you feel great, but it's also got an uplifting and conscious vibe to it at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I love that it has this positive message, but I feel like the music itself has this like strong uplifting vibe to it as well.
It does, yeah. And how do you feel about the fashion trends? I cannot get over this guy's bright green shirt.
They're very, like I was saying before we started, very hippie-esque.
The colors in the 60s were pretty wild.
Yeah, very bright. There's a lot of like floral and abstract design, I feel like, as well.
And then it's interesting, they've got the dynamic of the audience being around them, which I think is really cool. I've seen one guy that's in the middle there. He's like looking up at each of them on both sides doing their thing. And it's really, really cool, I think, to go back and just see, we talked about the fashion trends, the cultural trends, but just going back and seeing how, people, I think it's cool, like, this in particular is colorized, right? So we're seeing those colors because sometimes you go back in time and it's black and white. But this stuff, we're seeing, all the aspects of history. And I just love to go back in time and see how things were because we so often forget about, in 2025, what things were like 60 years ago.
Yeah, I also think it's cool to watch, like in videos like this, how people experienced entertainment.
Yes,
like
exactly.
You're
That's what I'm
experiencing
referring to,
the
yeah.
entertainment, like you're watching it, but actually seeing the audience, like how they're experiencing the entertainment is really cool because it's so different.
Because we don't ever really get to experience that. We are doing our thing a lot of the time in the digital world now. That's a little bit different, right?
Yep.
If there's a man
Organ sounds great.
who is down and needs a helping hand,
What are you going to do?
all it takes is you to understand and to pull him through. Seems to me we got to solve it individually. And up to you what you do to me. Said no. Yeah, shouting from the mountains all out to the sea. Out to the sea. No two ways about it. People have to be. They got to be. Ask me my opinion will be. That's a situation for a man to be free. Get right on board now. Yeah, all the feels just come over me. Enough to move a mountain and a blind man. Leave us. Everybody said, come on, let's go see. Peace in the valley, now we all can be free. Look, see that train over there?
Where?
That's the train of freedom. It's about to arrive any minute now.
Let's get on it.
You know, it's been a long overdue. Look out, cause it's coming right on through. Yeah, yeah.
People got to be free. Sam, what's your closing thoughts on the song?
So after hearing that, I agree with them. People got to be free, and that's their anthem to rise them up.
Any other thoughts?
I really enjoyed it. I thought that it was very positive and uplifting. I think when you do have a song that has such a strong message, it's great to have more of that empowering vibe in the instrumentation because I feel like it's going to catch on. Like this it still had a catchy kind of rhythm to it. And I feel like that's probably why it went to number one, right? Because it is still catchy. It has a great message, but it's catchy and it's fun and it's uplifting. And that's going to spread that message to more people, which is awesome.
He also had a powerful voice. So you have an empowering message with a powerful vocal.
Yep.
Really has a lot of presence on the track, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I find when a vocalist has a lot of presence. They make you listen a little bit more to what they're saying, which I think is perfect for the message that went alongside this.
Oh, for sure. And I also think that this did to me had that 60s sound to it, kind of that classic 60s sound, but
Yeah.
also felt like it was kind of transitioning into like the 70s sound that we heard from later.
Yeah, they definitely have a 60s sound, I would say, that uplifting, and as Mark had mentioned, flower power kind of feel of unity and peace. But I think it, to me, did we read that it's like Blue-Eyed Soul?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where I do resonate with the sound a lot. And I feel like that came to be a little bit more frequent in later years and not in the 60s. So that's the one thing I would say I was a little bit surprised with, but overall it was a fantastic song. And,
Yeah.
you know, I
Great pick, Mark.
I really think we got to look into why everybody started losing their hair. Because
Everybody had like this thick, luscious hair there.
up until the 80s, like the 80s was huge, right? Everybody had
Yeah.
a ton of hair. But I was just looking at the people in the audience. They all looked so healthy and young and vibrant. And obviously, you know, that's, I think a lot of the time, even today, younger people are going to concerts. And, you know, if the artists, especially themselves, are young, right? But if you grew up with somebody, then you might go to concerts as you get older. But in this instance, I was just looking at the audience and I was just thinking to myself, you know, I can't remember really seeing a lot of videos where from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, a lot of people were bald.
Yeah.
A lot of men,
no.
I should say, were bald.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
But then all of a sudden, like the 90s came and everybody started going bald. So it's like, I would assume, based on some of the other things that we know has happened in society, that some of the maybe food or products that we're using or something like that may not
environmental
be.
toxins, all that kind
We
of
may
stuff.
look back 20 years ago and be like, yeah, isn't that kind of weird? You know, that everybody had a bunch of hair and now nobody has hair anymore.
Yeah, for sure. I think that that's one thing that I noticed too, that everybody's hair was just so like full and luscious
Yeah.
and thick and like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways, we didn't come here to talk about hair.
Admiring
we
hair.
came here to talk about the Rascals, but that's part of the experience. So Mark brought that experience to us and the channel, and hopefully you guys enjoyed checking this out with us. If you did, what do they got to do, Sam?
Make sure that you hit the like button, you drop a comment on your way out, you subscribe, and you have a great day.
Yeah, I should have told you to hit the like button very early because I'm doubting that people are still hanging around at this point. But that means we're gonna get out of here. Have a great one, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for watching.